All right, good evening, solar YouTubers. Today is Saturday, March 28th of 2026. It is at 7:33. To save some wattage, I turned off both monitors because I really don't need them. But I saved about 40 watts because I was running about 180. Got no grid coming in. I got no PV coming in. It's all on the battery. So there's about 42 watts that the inverter is actually using to run full time. So I did have a fault code a while ago, so it was low battery. I just posted that video, and so if we go look at this now, it has reset everything. No solar panels, it's gone. All coolers are going good. So I used the generator to charge the batteries, meaning I put it in generator mode and ran my generator. That's in the last video, and it didn't take very long for it to charge. It took, I want to say, 15 minutes. It didn't take very long at all to charge up my batteries. So that's what I'm doing now. It is set to, let's see here. Let's you hold in on the enter key, hold down. As solar, utility, then battery. So let me change that. So you hold down on the enter. It goes that I want it to be I did that wrong. You want to hit enter, and then you want to go up or down. I want solar, battery, then utility. Hit enter again, and then hit exit. Right out here's exit. It's set. And then hit the arrow key. Let's turn this light on. Hit the arrow key. I like to leave it. Right there. And then this tells you what your load is. Okay, so now when I hook up the solar tomorrow, and if I have enough solar coming in, it's going to go to the battery. And then if the battery gets low enough for that fault code will kick on. I have it set kind of low, I think. I don't know exactly. I have it set for 26 volts. And 26 volts, according to, let's go to the product page here of the battery. We'll read there. That's about 25%, it says. 26 to 23, 26.3. So, according to the book, it's about 25%. So, I do know I have the VVOR set for 26. So, back when I have solar full time, and then at night, when I didn't have enough solar coming in for a day or so, it was plugged into the wall, the grid, and then it would automatically use the grid to charge the battery. That's one good thing about having that as an emergency backup. But what I'm doing now is it's not plugged into the grid at all. It's literally sitting down over there. I'm going to start using my generator to charge it up. I don't have to, but I need to start getting used to living like I don't have the AC power, you know what I'm saying, the grid power. Because eventually I will move out into my truck. I'm actually looking for a box van too, so I just don't quite have that kind of money. So what I'm thinking is I might get the slip-in camper, get it where I could live out of it, and finding a place to park my vehicles shouldn't be too bad. I know some customers I can go to say, hey, I will clean your windows for free if you let me stay in your parking lot for a few months or something to that extent. I can work something out, or I can find a new customer, whatever, and or something to that extent. So I'm not worried about water, and I'm not worried about that. I just got to worry about how to live that way. So if you haven't watched my other videos today, well, last night I took a shower with my instant hot water heater shower. It worked great for the first time. Um, I filled up a 5 gallon bucket of water and I went through half of it. So what I did was I washed, I got wet pretty quickly. Um, and then I turned the machine off. So actually how you there's a button on the machine to turn on the pump. That turns on the whole machine, that turns on the pump, okay? And then to activate the pump, you go to your handle, and you go to the handle and you have this button here. You push that button in and out, so it turns on the pump. So I think that it squirts out the water and that don't. And that there is for your different kind of spray. So I turned it on, got wet, turned it off, I lathered up, cleaned myself, turned it back on, and it was hotter water. The water was hotter than it was when it's coming out. And then it kind of died off and got kind of warm, and then it got hot again. So it didn't stay. I mean, normally was the reviews I watch, most of these units where if you shut it off to lather up and then you turn it back on, you might have a few seconds of cold water. This you do not. You have a few seconds of hotter water than normal, than what you was washing with. Then it will get. Then you feel the temperature kind of drop a little bit, and then it will come back up. That's all within about 10 seconds. It worked great last night. And then I picked this up today. This is a portable washer and dryer. But that's roughly $150 ish on Amazon. So I picked it up for $70, and I used it today. I washed a pair of pants, a t-shirt, and a bunch of socks. So it all fit in there. And then so what you do is you stick your clothes in there. I already have a video on that, I think. It worked great. And then you have to the spin cycle dries your clothes pretty good. So I'm not going to use this every day. I did use probably 5 gallons of water, because I put like 2.5 gallons in there because I didn't have a whole lot of clothes. You put your pod in there and you set it for 15 minutes. Make sure it's on normal, and then it will literally rotate, stop, rotate, stop, rotate, stop. And I ran that off the EB3A, okay? So it ran about 200 watts for about 30 or 4 seconds, just shut off for about a second or two, come back on. And I got that down to 50%, I think, or 65 or something like that. So I could probably run that twice. And so what you do is once your cycle quits, you turn it to drain, and there's a drain thing. You just lay it down, and the water will drain out by itself. There's no pump or nothing. And then you turn it back to normal when the water's drained out, and then you put clean water back into it, and it's called a rinse cycle. And then you turn off 15 minutes, let it rinse itself. Then when it stopped, you hit drain again, the water drains out, and to me the water looked pretty dirty. It looked cleaner than what it. Oh man, the water that came out of this was really dirty. So it did the job. It did the job. So the so-called wrench water looked kind of dirty to me, so I put about another gallon of water. I just poured it in there. I didn't agitate it or nothing, and the water came out clean. So I took my pair of pants out. I put it in there, my pants only in there, and then when you do that, you just turn it to the 5 minutes. And at first, you might have to hold it because when it starts, it's really off kilter. But then once it gets up spinning, it's pretty good. And that, it's about 200 watts. It started out about 220, 230, then it settled down to about 180. And it does that for 5 minutes, then it'll automatically shut off. When this is on, you can open the door and see it's still missing. On this, as soon as you open the door, it's the motor shut off. And well, make sure you leave your tube laying down because the water of the spin cycle. It's pretty cool. So you run 2 washings, one to wash it, one to rinse it, and then I put my pants in there. Then when I got my pants out, then I put my shirt and my socks in there. So therefore, and then I just dried them out there on the porch. I mean, it was it's something I won't use every day. I won't use this all the time. It's just something I got just in case I am, life happens. I don't know. I won't get into all that. I did that once already. Oh, so when I get in my truck or my camper, whatever, then I have the tools I can do to live. So, everything's keeping frozen. That's down to 17. These are not falling out at all. Everything's frozen. I go down to my ice packs. My ice packs are still solid. So this is doing a good job of staying frozen. I got down to, it's probably 15 degrees. It's up to 17. And I believe what these coolers do, I think when it gets to 5 degrees warmer than you have it set, it kicks on. And then it gets down to about 5 degrees lower, then it kicks off. So that's about what it is. So I do got them hooked to the battery, so they are at 26.3. So that's how you can tell where your battery voltage is if you don't want to go through the app. And then it's so I got the breakout box here, and I'm using the cigarette lighter, so I'm going from directly DC. I'm not using the inverter at all. And so I got one to the positive, one to the negative. It's hooked to the box. So I do have the AC plugs for this, but that's at 12 volts, not 24. So at 24, I think it might be more efficient. I'm not quite for sure. But that's where that's at. And this here, you got a nice little light in there. It's my cheese and bacon and all that good stuff. And I need to go to the store tomorrow and buy me a gallon jug. And so I might be able to put a gallon jug in here. And I just got to learn how to shop every other day or just a couple of days. Not just shop for a couple of weeks and load your refrigerator up. I need to shop and, kind of, I can't hold a week full of food, a week's usage of food. There we go. So there we go. I do have this one set to 35. 35 for this one and 15 for this one. So the coolers are not on. They're not working. So I think when they do work, they draw a roughly, we can find out real quick if you want. No, it's gonna take too long. But on the they draw about 30 watts. 30 watts to run. They run on for how long? 10, 15 minutes and shut off. So it's not very long at all. I do know on this cooler, I can run it off the Bluetti, the EB3A for about 24 hours, a little bit longer. So that's that. So my last video I just posted, I did have that fault code, and once the battery got charged up, the fault code just went off by itself. And that's about it, guys. Yeah, I'm totally off the grid. I got to see what the limitations of my batteries and my I don't know the limitations yet. I've had this for a while. I've had the battery, the VVOR plugged into the wall, and so when the battery voltage got down to 26 volts, the VVOR automatically charged up the batteries from the grid, so I never had to worry about it. But I can't do that because I don't have a. I need to learn how to fire up a generator and use a generator. So that's what I'm doing. And so before I go to work every day, I got to stick out the panels out there. As right now, they're not doing a whole lot of work next door. He is remodeling the apartment next door, and once we get the apartment fixed, remodeled, he's going to rent it out for more money. So I just no way I can move across with the same rent and same everything else. And I don't want to live between two apartments anyway. But the solar is, we got a lot of solar there. It'd be better for me solar wise, but I don't want to. The rent's going to be too high. So tomorrow when I set my panels out, I can set my 400 watts down that way, and then my 200 watts down here, because the 200 watts will have my Lucidi box built back up in no time. So I do have a shadow because of the building. It does start causing a shadow, and I moved that once a while ago, and it's just going to be different. Now once it gets rented out, there's a door down there that goes into the building. It hasn't been used. It's closed off. It hasn't been used in at least a decade or more. He's going to build a room inside of there, and he's going to turn that into a laundry room where the tenants can go down there and do laundry. So I'm not going to be able to. I gotta have room so they can walk back behind it and stuff. So I can't really go too far that way. So for me personally, it's solar. It's my limit right now. It's my solar. If I could be able to use the roof, then I would have had 2,000 watts up there in no time. But I can't use the roof. The owner is afraid of insurance and city. His tax is going to raise and insurance might complain. Although the system was totally portable, I didn't have nothing mounted. There's the star of the show, and she's been in the mood today. Oh well, I've had videos on that. So that's about it. So did run the generator. It ran, I'm in no more than 20 minutes. It didn't run a whole lot. I do know when I was using the VVOR to charge the batteries, it would charge the batteries for like 4 hours at like 1700 watts. And then when the VVOR kicked in, when I used the generator to charge the batteries, it was drawing about 1700 watts, 1.7 kilowatts. 180 of that was for my computer, and the rest, and only 850 went to the batteries. So there was a good, probably 1,000 watts that was, I couldn't, what 700 is, 500, something like that. I don't quite remember the number. I do know about 900 went into the batteries. It was using 1,700 from the generator, 800 went to the batteries, and another 200 went to my computer. So there was about 600 watts, I want to say, that I couldn't account for. And the inverter wasn't using 600 watts, so I don't know. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it, but I saw a little bit. I didn't go quite in depth. But you have to set the VVOR to a generator mode. And for you guys who really want, I know one of my viewers bought the VVOR, and so if you're watching or anybody else buy the VVOR, if you got any questions, I can sit down and let me know what your question is in the comments, and I can do a special video for you on how to what I know of the VEVOR. You do have to go into the settings on page 26 and 27 of the manual. If you have the same manual I have, no, that's the fault codes. That's the fault codes. And you go down here to operation here. And it starts on page 13. So basically, setting 1 is your settings for your inverter there. Right now I'm using solar, battery, and utility. You can use solar, utility, and battery. So solar first. No solar goes to the utility, and the power's off, it goes to the battery. Then you have to go into setting number 3, and the UPS mode. So it's just a power pass through. If the grid goes down, it would kick to utility. It would kick to the solar or battery, whatever. Then you got to put it in 3. So setting 3, you got to put this into generator mode. Okay, and it does give you a warning if it's unstable. If the sine wave is not clean enough, then the VEVOR would throw a code. It did to me before because I don't know who in the hell. Yeah, some dude just walked right through the driveway and right down into here and walked right down that way. I'm like, I've never seen the guy before. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, they walk through the area all the time. Oh well, so you got to put it in generator mode before if you're going to use so-called grid power. You have to put it in generator mode when you use a generator, because if you don't, mine through a fault code, and then I read the instructions, then you have to put it in generator if you use it in generator. Pretty cool. All right, you must have been going to get some meat. So whatever. All right, so video's too long. You guys want to watch about 5 minutes of it. So if you lasted this long, thank you for your 20 minutes of your life on really stupid stuff. But I'm really trying to cross over to just being solar. Like tonight, when I turn my computer off, I'm going to turn it all the way off, and then so I have nothing being drawn. And then I can run my fan off the VEVOR all night, and then hopefully in the morning when I get up, I can throw my solar panels out and start charging the VEVOR. So I'm hoping that's what I can do, and I hope I can do that way. I'm really testing my storage. I got 5 kilowatts on that one, and hopefully 5 kilowatts will do it. And you see all these wires here? They're not anything. This is not a part of it, and this is not a part of it. So you move these wires out, and that's what it is down there. And these are over gauged. Everything's fused. There's no fire hazard here whatsoever. No fire hazard at all. Everything's fused. Everything's got breakers. I got more safety issues in my fuse box than I do out here. So somebody said, well, that's a fire hazard. There ain't no fire hazard here. Everything's up to snuff. And if I had this built into a cabinet, you will see none of these wires. But I got everything exposed so I can get to everything fast if I need to. But both batteries are fused. I got fused on both batteries. I don't have a fuse coming in from the solar panels because I'm in series, so I don't have no amps, very little amps. The wires would take over it. The VEVOR has circuits breakers in it, so everything's fused. I got fuses everywhere, so everything's safe. So I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.